This episode contains a mature discussion about adult relationships and consensual non-monogamy. While the conversation remains educational and non-explicit, it may not be suitable for all listeners. Audience discretion is advised.
Anyways, we have our much long-awaited guest here today on our lifestyle episode. We're going to ask some questions, interview style. Tell us all the dirty deeds. People want to know.
About the lifestyle.
Yeah,
The upside down pineapple lifestyle.
swingers.
Swingers. Modern day swingers.
Which is so funny because you know what I think about when I think of it? Taylor Frankie Paul.
Let me tell you something. I just heard who this chick was. She's that secret life of the Mormon wives or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know her whole story, but I know that there was a swinging
Scandals.
scandal.
Yeah, that's kind of
But
what
I
I
should
did.
really look into it because, like, now I'm curious.
But they don't post anything about it. It's just how
there was,
friendships got ruined
amongst
and
them.
stuff.
Yeah, okay.
But
Yeah.
that's how they blew up.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
because this guy. Anyways, yeah. And now it's my favorite show. Yeah. They
So
have
I
so
should
much
start
drama.
watching it.
The fuck? It's snowing outside.
Yeah, it was supposed to snow on and off for the next 3 hours.
Cool. Anyways,
You tuned in for the meteorologist report.
so okay, do you guys want to introduce yourselves, your alter egos?
Yeah, I'm George.
Okay, George, and
And
you
I
are.
am-
Oh my god. I mean, we know that, but what the fuck was that?
I just turned 44.
Last week.
Yeah,
Last Saturday.
we have
We-
been swinging for almost 3 years. We're going to our first actual lifestyle event tonight. So it's a big day for us.
And I have
Podcast.
anxiety.
Like a-
That's
In
the
the
worst.
now, so do you call it a swingers party or an orgy?
It's a lifestyle event. It's a lifestyle
Because it
party.
can encompass.
It could be anything. It could be
Anything.
people watching, just people that like to
Very
watch.
social.
There's no expectations. You know, if you make a connection and you want to fuck, you fuck.
There's
If
private
you-
rooms. Like,
Yeah,
like,
like
I'm just.
If you just want to watch people fuck, it's happening all over the place.
I read everything. Like, I tried to research
Yeah.
much about this
Like
because
this,
I
yeah,
like
first
I'm
time
like
to
a-
go.
inherently a planner. Like, I
I'm the same way.
like to plan things, so I like to know what's going to happen, so that I'm not. I don't like flying by the seat of my pants.
Okay, so where do you find out about these events?
So we've been in this for like 3 years, and it was just within the last, I would
3
say,
months.
3 months that
Yeah.
we actually were vetted by a friend in the lifestyle to be added to a Saskatchewan-based pineapple.
Well, let's just tell the story, I guess. We had hooked up with a couple, and the female part, half of the couple, I guess, took a real liking to and they've sort of made formed a relationship. And through that relationship, that we've all, I guess, kind of formed, the three of us now, we were invited into this group. It's a closed Facebook group. Through that group, we hooked up with a new lifestyle event. I guess they're an
Out of
event.
Regina.
Yeah, like that's what they
Based
do
out of
is they
Regina.
just do lifestyle events for people in the lifestyle. So we got into that. So now we've been vetted and we are able to go to any party that they are hosting, and this is one
Because
of their
we're technically
parties.
now members of
Yeah, so
this
we're members of this lifestyle group.
event group.
So how do they vet you guys? Like, is it like a
Well, they just want to make sure you're real and make sure that, you don't have ill intentions and that you're, like-minded, I guess. That's the other thing.
so is there other thing that you need to do? Like, do you have to provide like
Well,
regular STI testing or like anything like that?
I mean, that's definitely something that you should be doing anyway if you're part of this.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
We have our own rule. Every person in the lifestyle has their own rule as to how often and where and what they get done and all that shit.
And I guess
But
it really boils down to how many people you are
sleeping
having
with
relations
and
with,
yeah,
how often you should get tested. So
But the thing is, right? So let's say you sleep with Charlie, and Charlie's also in the lifestyle, but Charlie's sleeping with Diane, Janine,
Yeah.
and
Right.
Frey.
right.
So, like, how often would you go, right? Like, I guess that's me, because I always think, like, down the line
Right.
myself.
I
I'm like, oh, but you could be a dirty bitch, so actually I want to
Right.
get tested to save myself.
I believe every 3 to 6 months, depending on how many parties you're having, is adequate for the most part. I guess I don't want to say that most people are maybe a little bit cleaner if they're sticking to lifestyle people, but if you are sticking to lifestyle people, then chances are you're not being exposed to nearly as much as if you were just fucking everything in sight. Right.
That's actually a good point, though, because you're constantly getting tested and checked.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
that
yeah,
makes
and
sense.
everybody is. It's not just one person is. Everybody is.
And
I mean, you
pe-
would hope.
people in lifestyle, like,
I mean, we've
and-
requested, testing proof.
for,
We want to see proof. We want
Yeah.
to see screenshots of your tests,
because let's be
As you
honest,
should.
right?
some of these guys are bottom of the barrel, if you would.
Yeah.
But they've got
I mean, what are your options always,
third
right?
legs, basically. So you have to just be like, I need to see your panel. But yeah, I feel like if you are somebody who is having somebody new on a weekly basis, I would probably try to get tested once a month. But we live in such an isolated area of the province that it's a lot harder for us to play.
We're only having encounters
So
maybe once or twice a month if we're lucky, and then we go on a month or two where we don't even see anybody.
So we're about every 3 months.
So yeah,
around that mark, and
3 to 6 months, depending on how active we are.
Really, like if we're like in this low where we're not doing anything except each other, then we're obviously not gonna.
We're not going to get tested. No point.
But
Okay, so I guess what sparked the interest in this?
I'll tell a story. So when George and I got together, we did have a couple of instances where we played. We played with a female. So it was me, George, and this female. Or was it the male
No,
first?
it was the male first.
Oh, yeah. It was Dusty first.
We'll
call him Dusty.
I guess we should maybe talk about, so going back, I guess, to the very beginning, I was sexually abused as a child. It was very long time ago. I don't remember most of it. I've blocked it out. And I guess that fundamentally changed everything about me.
Because I know you, I have a relationship with you, right? So
That's hard. I
If
thought
that's
she was
the
not
year,
good.
I mean, then maybe it's the same reaction as you, right? Like when you
Yes.
cried with fine. So that's
It's a tough thing to admit. It really is. It's not, none of it's easy, right? But anyway, that kind of abuse fundamentally changes a person. It changes your brain chemistry, and it turned me into what I guess what the doctors would say is a hypersexual. So most people think about sex fairly often. I think about sex all the time.
Mhm.
That's like what's on my brain almost all the time. I look at people and think, oh, well, would I do something with them? I don't know. I'm going to analyze them. I'm going to look at them. I'm going to, that's what I'm thinking about when I see people, when I have people watching.
I feel like that's not even probably talked about enough when it comes to those types of experiences. together.
Absolutely, it's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely changed me, and it made me. And I don't like the word pervert, but it turned me into a pervert to a certain extent. Like, I'm not a creep that's going to creep on people. Like, I'm not going to do the unwanted advances and stuff like that. I'm not a pervert in that sense, but I guess there's certain things that I like now and certain things that turn me on. And those things aren't always looked at positively in our communities, right? And so that part has been very difficult, and keeping it hidden and not having. So now, I guess now moving forward, we found these people and we've met these people and we've started these relationships, these lifestyle relationships, and it's made me feel more comfortable in my skin and more comfortable with the way I feel and the fact that I can't turn that part of my brain off.
It took us
Right.
a long time to get.
Right. So
So-
we've been in the lifestyle now together as partners for like almost 3 years. And what got us there was me. I guess I was a little bit relentless.
But-
Would that be the
but
word?
I mean,
Right.
okay, so I've
And-
known you guys, so what, 7 years?
7.
I met you, but like
Yes,
George
yeah.
before I
actually.
met Sassy.
Yeah.
So like, and
That's true.
like,
And George said, I think you'd be a really good fit with my wife. And then it was just
That's right.
done.
Fast friendship.
7 years later, like
Yep.
we through a pandemic, everything, like, and being long distance.
But we were on group sharing. So anyway, we met in the groups, and then I guess 3 years ago was when I really got into it, and it started with me pushing her to have a threesome with another man, and that was what I was really wanting to start with. I guess through my childhood and my history and all the stuff, the hypersexual part of me. One of the things that I became obsessed with was not only watching my wife with another man, but being involved and being intimate with them both. I'm not attracted to men at all. This is the weird thing. I'm not attracted to men at all. I think men are actually quite gross. So I don't consider myself bisexual at all.
But I honestly feel like you really worked. When we first got together, we did play. We had a male, female, and then we did a male, female.
Yes, we did.
And then we ended up moving, and then,
Well,
I
then we
got
had kids
pregnant, and then
and-
we moved to Saskatchewan, and
Kids change everything.
10
and then-
years passed.
I mean, and you guys live in the middle of nowhere.
we do.
so-
We literally
do.
live in
But-
bumfuck nowhere.
It's crazy how this isn't talked about because the
Right.
town that I grew up in is a huge swinger community.
Where we live now,
There
they've
used to
always
be.
had, like, there used to be
Yeah.
a huge swinger community.
But apparently there's not now.
They're not.
But I don't.
Well,
I
we're about
wouldn't
to
want-
revitalize this shit.
I wouldn't want to swing within the community anyway. I like the way it is now for us.
I don't want to
so-
shit where I eat.
So anyway, back to where we started. So we started with Grinder was our way of finding men,
The
because
first guy we ever
I guess the biggest thing is most of the guys on Grinder are mostly
Flakes
straight.
and
And yeah, lots of flakes. But that's,
We
I
can
think,
get into that
any
later.
website nowadays, any dating website or hookup websites. There's
Ghosting is way too common.
It's gross, actually. But anyway, so Grindr was our way because there's lots of guys on Grindr that just want to get their dick wet and they don't care if it's a dude sucking their dick or whatever. So when we're a couple on there and all of a sudden they're like, holy shit, I get the fucking woman. And that one really, it was easy for us to find lots of men. Now that's where the flakes came in because we found lots of guys, but lots of guys wouldn't show up or whatever. But the first guy was still favorite, I think. So we were still really new.
We were newborn. We were
And
still wet with afterwards.
I didn't like how sensual he got with you, so I cut things off with him. And that, in hindsight, I think that was a mistake. I think that you and him could have had a really fulfilling sexual relationship together moving forward, but I got a little bit scared and I shut that one down.
Okay, wait, I have a question. So, like, what was, I guess, the biggest misconception when you guys started and your expectation?
Oh, that it would be easy.
Yeah, 100%.
We thought
Actually, that'd be easy.
to find men that wanted to fuck my wife.
100%.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. I thought that would be easy. And then to find a woman to share, I thought that would be way easier because eventually that's where we sort of got into wanting more all the time, right? So then we wanted a woman to see what that was like.
Started
And
female, lots of those.
well, no, and then we had couples.
Yeah.
And couples are great, and then we can have like full swap or
We had a really good run
same room.
recently, but then it all, which we'll get into later.
Oh, the
is
ups
part
and the
of,
downs are crazy in the lifestyle.
it's not for the faint of
Okay.
heart.
No, absolutely not.
No.
You have to have a thick skin. For sure.
I know some people look at it like, oh, hey, we should join lifestyle. You'll get to fuck other people. I'll get to fuck other people. But your geographical location,
That's a huge barrier.
your solidity in your current relationship with your anchor partner, like your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, these all are huge factors. And I do think that if we lived somewhere like here or in a city,
we would have far more opportunity.
it's been really difficult. And I have questioned lots of times whether this is the right path for us.
Okay, so going back to boundaries, because you had just talked about that, what are some of the boundaries you had in place when you started as compared to now?
Okay, well, the biggest one was we had no kissing allowed at all. That was really hard for Sassy because she loves to kiss. And it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman,
kisses
she
and hugs.
loves
I love
getting
kisses
kissed
and
and
hugs.
she loves making out. So that was really hard for her. And then as time went on, we relaxed that. And it was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I know she loves it and I don't want to stop her from having that.
Because let's be honest, you lack in the kissing department.
We have just gone through enough time together where
That's not an excuse.
I'm just saying, I don't see it as important as you do.
I love kissing.
I know you do.
And I know and get it though, like
It's
because
sensual.
a lot of
and
people don't have that in the
Right.
lifestyle because they say that the
It's too
connection
sensual.
too
is
intimate.
yeah,
right.
it's way too intimate.
And that was our reason at the beginning too. But then as time went on, we
Right.
relaxed that.
I will say that the no kissing thing was definitely a rule that I wanted in place at first, because in the 10 years that it took George to get me to this, I would essentially say prior to joining the lifestyle, I was definitely a prude. But a prude in the sense that I was like, no other woman's going to fuck my man. I'm not fucking anybody else, but I was showing my tits on Snapchat
We were voyeur.
all the time. Like exhibitionists. I was an
Yeah,
I've always
okay.
been,
So we're both exhibitionists
boobs.
and
Boobs are
voyeurs. We
glorious.
like to watch and we like to be watched, right? So
straight or not, boobs can be glorious.
Boobs are beautiful. I'll
I love
never
boobs.
not.
I will, if you got a nice pair of tatas, like I'm gonna be like, girl, you got great.
I'm definitely a boob man for sure.
I'm not a butt girl.
I'm just too vanilla for this.
You don't have to go home and take some kind of like detox bath after the day.
Sanana's like celibacy.
Well, no,
My
but we
vagina
talked
is
about this.
fine.
It's been a year, but here's the thing. The last person I dated, I did talk about it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I brought it up to you.
Yeah.
How I was like, we talked about like, I don't know, just
doing
spicing
it up.
just spicing it
Spice
up
it up
one
one
time. And then, but then I was like, I don't know, like, I think my jealousy would be too, like, I couldn't do it.
So-
And then, like,
What if it was a girl that you
We're attracted.
were attracted to? Do you
I
think
don't
that
know,
would be
I
different?
don't, but I'm not.
I mean,
She's just way too vanilla, honestly, right
No,
now.
I
Like
think here's the thing. I'm not when I'm with one person, right? Like when I'm dating somebody, That's one story.
100%.
But all of this, like, I just don't think I would.
Does this make this, like, genuinely, does this conversation make you a little uncomfortable?
like, yes and no, because I just don't know how to
But it's
contribute. to the
learning.
yes.
But you can just sit there and take it all in.
Ask questions.
Like,
I'm not a swinger.
You
I've
know
had
me
multiple partners.
really well.
I'm not a swinger.
No, you're
I
not.
don't have a lot of like
You're
threesomes,
both vanilla.
foursomes.
2 scoops of vanilla ice cream. Maybe a little
I got a little chocolate sauce in one, okay?
This one has the tiniest little drip of sauce.
What do you do when jealousy shows up? Like, how do you work through that?
Jealousy?
Well, no.
Yes.
I know firsthand
Okay.
there's the jealousy.
I think it might be the same moment. So recently,
Mhm.
George went away to a conference in another city with a coworker that he has been given really carte blanche. Like, I gave him the okay to just fuck her. She's got a great body. She's hot, great tits. But the first night that he was gone, because it was a big step in this lifestyle for us. Like,
This was the first time
this was the first
having
solo
you.
played.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have
you'd been
solo
solo
played,
playing for.
But like, I solo played before, but sent lots of videos and stuff. And so like, I had those same expectations. And I think it came out a little, you have to send me videos. Da, 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 da. And then when he wasn't answering, I was like, is she in your room? Like, send me so the first night he was gone for 2 nights, but that is a one and done. Like, that's not going to happen the next time he goes away on a conference and she's with him, which is going to happen lots because they work very closely together. But that wasn't even a jealousy thing. It was a FOMO.
Yeah.
It was
I think it was a combination of
So
both. I was once
Yes,
I'd
it
heard
was-
about it
right.
from. I think it was definitely a combination of jealousy, but like the
100%.
missing out. thing.
And it was just like, it was that next step. And I had to process going through that. And I'm sure he dealt with his own whatever in a much better manner when I first solo played,
but it wasn't jealousy in the sense
Oh.
that she was jealous that I was fucking another woman. She was jealous that she wasn't getting dicked down by another man. That-
down the next.
Well, you did the next day, but that's ultimately where our jealousy is. We are not jealous of each other having sex with another person. I'm never jealous of that.
I think
I'm jealous of how many partners
Yes,
she gets compared to
100%,
me.
100%. That's it.
Because
Because
unicorns are hard to find.
That's
very
exactly
hard to find. Just women in general that will fuck a married man.
Dudes just want to get their dick wet. So it's easier for me to find guys that want to come and have sex with me
Very much so.
than it is for
And this
Right,
goes-
so that's what the
this
jealousy
this
is.
isn't just in the swinger lifestyle either.
It's
Like,
like a
That's right.
even
That's right.
going to the bar, a
Yeah.
girl can pick up any man she wants,
Pretty much.
but a guy can't pick any girl he wants.
Right.
Right.
A guy can't even hardly pick a girl, let alone anyone he wants.
Yeah.
You
So
know, he's lucky to find anything
So-
at the bar.
I would say that there's not, that's that.
So yeah, so jealousy for us,
Jealousy for us.
it's the jealousy is in how easy it is for her. That's my jealousy. I'm jealous of how easy it is for
I'm
her.
not really jealous.
And your jealousy, your
Well, that
jealousy
one
comes
time.
into play when I'm getting it and you're not. And that has happened a few times where all of a sudden I go on a streak.
But I just actually recently found out that there is a hotel in Regina that does swinger parties.
Hotel
Right?
takeovers. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we want to get in on
Ramada.
one of those.
Yeah.
Ramada does. It's not that icks me, but like the thought of it icks me.
What icks you though?
What part? Yeah.
I think it's
That
it's
I'm
okay.
expected to stay after.
I think it's because I know what's going on there. And if I'm staying in a hotel, I don't think about all the people that have stayed there before me, right?
Fair
Right.
enough.
But when you think about like, okay, well, there's an orgy in this hotel room and it was this block of rooms, right?
Wouldn't matter if it was that kind of hotel or
But
not.
then they like, do you guys get to move to the pool? Do you get to do that in the pool too? Then like,
I
do
have
they
no
get to-
idea.
But,
No,
you know,
there's pretty strict rules about it. Usually it's 1 or 2 floors. You're restricted to those floors. You're vetted before those ones. You
I'll
have
let
a
you know
wrist.
tomorrow.
You have a wristband. You can't just come and go. Once you leave, you don't get allowed back in.
We
Like,
have to
they're
s-
very strict.
We have to basically lock up our cell phones when we get there. You can't take no videos. So I'm like telling all my friends, like, y'all just gonna have to take my word for it.
Yeah,
Like,
because that's one of our
because we like to share.
rules, I guess, is that we send videos of what we're doing to the other partner, right? So that's
But
one
also-
of our stipulations.
Also, we post in some adult groups on Snapchat where I feel like if we talk about what we're going to do, we should back it up with some evidence.
Yeah,
Whereas-
so as long as our partners are okay with us posting them in the Zoom
Consent is
chats,
key.
consent is
Consent
key with
is
everything.
key.
Okay, we're just gonna do some like interview style questions and I'll ask each of you separately. Okay, so Sassy, what surprised you the most once you actually started living in the lifestyle?
I would honestly say how enjoyable it is. And after you get past the nerves and stuff, yeah, I don't know. I think it's I think it's being desired by other men other than my husband.
So knowing that you're just desirable to other
Right.
people.
And because like as a woman going through, like I'll be 44 next week. I'm definitely going through those life changes that women unfortunately have to go through because, you know, like why not add something else that we have to deal with? So to be wanted and desired by 26, 27, 30 some odd year old men is a real confidence boost. So it's helped my self-esteem. I did lose a bunch of weight a couple of years ago, and then my sister, that was the whole thing. And I gained some weight back. So I'm not feeling my sexiest these days currently. And I feel like I'm really I'm in a low right now. So I would say I'm most surprised that there was so many men out there that wanted to be with me.
I get that.
And like, I felt desired. Like, not that George doesn't desire me, but we've been together 15 years. That's a long time. So
It is.
to be desired by and wanted and pursued by a 26-year-old guy,
Yeah.
it makes you fucking feel good.
And what about you, George?
For me, it was having my own personal porn star perform for me basically and do, she's very submissive. It's easy for me to direct her to do whatever I basically want.
Okay, so what's a conversation you guys wish that you would have had earlier in your relationship?
For me, I think that I guess I wish I'd have brought this to her sooner and convinced her it was a good idea sooner. But I'm not unhappy with where we started the journey, like at what age we started the journey. I think good age, people mature enough to understand what we're doing.
But do you think that even if you had the conversation earlier, would you have been even ready at the time? That's the
No,
difference.
I don't think so because for a decade we were raising kids. So it was not something that would have been easy to do with really small kids. And so when we started this, we had a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old. And now we have a 12 and a 9-year-old. It's easier now because they can stay home by themselves. So I think if you'd asked me to do this earlier, I probably still would have been like, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's fair.
What challenges have you faced that you didn't expect when combining your parenting with this lifestyle?
Finding time for the lifestyle when you're balancing kids with extracurriculars and
Living in the middle of nowhere.
and then we live in the middle of nowhere, right? So, we're lucky we have a space away from our house where we can host people that is a fun space and most people actually quite enjoy it. So there's that. And we're able to do that after hours when our kids are in bed and they're at the house, and it's not, there's a full separation there between where they are and where we are. And then, we're lucky enough to have grandparents that take care of our kids too. And
Like this weekend.
that's how we can come do this.
That's why we're here without kids.
Is because we have that. So we're really, we're blessed in that way. But
do-
the navigating kids is really difficult. And the timing, it's finding time is hard.
I do feel like as our kids get older, it becomes increasingly easier for us to do things because our kids will soon be at a point where our oldest will be able to stay home, say for one night if we went to go somewhere overnight. So
Have you ever had a boundary that needed to change over time? And if you did, what kind of prompted it?
Yeah, the kissing one was definitely one that had to change over time. It started out as a heart and it's now turned into very enthusiastic, yes.
I also think though that in the beginning, we only ever played together in the same.
Yeah, that's another boundary actually.
And that was a
changed.
boundary that the kissing boundary was me. The solo play or group, like us only playing together in the
Same
room
room.
was me because I had a lot of insecurities when we started this because I was just like, okay, let's just try it. Let's just see if this is something we like. So those first few times there, like for the first, I would say year, we had no kissing. We only played together.
Yeah.
Maybe even the first year and a half.
2 years actually.
Yeah.
You didn't have your first solo play was May of last year.
Yeah. So I meant like 1 year.
And I didn't solo play until, when was it?
When did you even first solo play?
Wait,
it
does
when
that
you went
mean-
to the work
What does that
conference?
mean with somebody else? Like not
Without
Okay,
being in
so-
the room.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so solo play is just us one-on-one with another partner.
Okay,
Basically
that's
in
what,
like
Um,
straight, like not.
So yeah,
like
there's
some
lots of
people's
terms
cheating
that we
on
use.
stuff.
You just have to ask us what we
Yeah.
mean by them.
So solo
because
play is
we take for granted that you don't understand.
when George went away on that work conference, he got to be with his coworker, I think that was your first, wasn't it?
That might have been
Solo play?
January.
Yeah.
So is a unicorn just a woman that will
Yes.
come and join you guys, or a woman
Yeah.
in a relationship that'll join
Either
you
or.
guys?
That doesn't matter.
Single
Just
or
a
in a-
unicorn that comes to join a couple.
Okay.
And then
just a female that comes
a
to join.
bull is a man that joins a couple, or there's a dragon, which is a bi man that joins a couple.
Oh, there's so many terms I had no idea.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I don't even know them all.
I feel like I'm living in
Could you-
Narnia.
What's a mistake that you guys have made early on that other people could learn from?
Oh, communication and honesty is the most important thing ever. You have to talk about your feelings, and you have to be honest with your partner about everything. And
Did
that
you
means-
struggle with this?
No, not really. I haven't struggled with it. I don't think. I've been perfectly honest about everything, I think. I'm struggled with it maybe one night, and that was tough for us.
What night?
The night you went to Saskatoon and end up going to the orgy.
Oh
You
my
weren't,
fucking God. Really? Jesus Christ.
and then you didn't tell me that you were actually at it when I was trying to convince you to go do something with your night, and you were actually at an orgy that I didn't know
I
about.
guess that would
But did you
definitely-
participate?
No. Well, I kissed a girl and I liked it.
And you sucked a dick.
I put it.
Wait. You did not tell me this story?
Let's be honest. There was a bit of a breach of trust when that happened
Definitely.
because
And that was recent.
she did not communicate to me what she was doing, and she had every opportunity to do it, but she didn't. And then the next day she told me all about it, and then I was quite upset, obviously,
Mhm.
because
It's not planned.
she
in my
hid it.
defense.
And that kind of thing could ruin ruin a relationship, but it could also ruin your lifestyle, right? Because when you lose trust, the lifestyle no longer makes sense. So for me, it was something that I got over, fairly quickly. I do like to bring it up. I hate to say throw it in her face. That's so like
Humble
mean.
me.
The way I
Yeah.
wish you could hear that eye roll.
Because I think that I follow every rule that is given to me before an encounter, and I think it's really important that we do. So that was the one time.
Yeah.
One time.
I honestly, in the 3 years we've been doing this, I think that is
That's the only time we've had
that
a-
I
a
feel like
bit.
I could go. Wish I could go back and be like, yeah, okay, well, we inadvertently ended up booked at a hotel across the street from some lifestyle friends and ended up.
Well, we knew that. I
Watching
didn't
the
realize the
orgy.
orgy was at that hotel across the street and that you were with them while it was happening.
Well,
And if you'd just been honest with
Yeah.
me at the time,
But in my,
I would have encouraged you to participate,
but in my,
right, and have fun with it. But you were with somebody
I was
that,
with a vanilla friend
Yes.
that was not into that, and
but she did end up
Dumb
making out with
blonde-
some girl that night. So
dumb blonde in me when they text and said, hey, we're just at the hotel bar having a drink. And we were at the hotel bar across the street and they were closing in like a half an hour. Something in my stupid brain was like, well, they're done already. They're back at their hotel. And then they invited us to come for a drink. And I was like, okay, cool. Mind you, we chose to go to Saskatoon on the coldest fucking weekend ever. It was like minus 38.
yeah, it was.
And our hotels were literally across the street. And the girl, my vanilla friend, didn't pack for the weather. She had a windbreaker. And I'm like, we're going to freeze to death or slip and die and get run over. So I not even foolishly, I own it. I called an Uber. It cost me $10 to drive across the street. We show up at the bar across the street at the hotel. We walk in and they're sitting there. But as soon as we walk up, like I'm expecting to see just this couple that I know sitting there, but there's 3 other people sitting there. And the minute I laid eyes on these 3 people, I was like, you fucked up, Sassy, you fucked up. This shit hasn't even started yet. So I looked at my friend. I said, we're staying for a drink, one drink. This hasn't even started yet. And I promise you, I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen tonight. You're not ready for this. Then we get invited up to the room and I look at my friend and I was like, we need to go. Call that Uber and pay it $10 to go back across the street. I know what's going to happen. You're not ready for this.
And you walked into a room of sex.
Just people fucking on beds. And so there's like
The chair in the corner.
the chair in the corner. This one happened to have a chair and an ottoman. So I sat in the chair. My friend sat between my legs and I had my arms around her. I was like, she's vanilla. Don't even look at her. Protecting her. Then I had to play damage control for whatever. Ended up leaving my poor vanilla friend in a room full of swingers for 20 minutes while I tried to go play damage control with another lifestyle friend to come back to find out that my vanilla friend made out with my lifestyle friend in the bathroom.
Oh my God.
And I wasn't there to fucking witness it. I mean, my vanilla friend kissed me twice in that whole weekend.
I'm pretty
But
sure I saw a video of that.
afterwards, she's like, we are best friends now because, I'm like, what? Going to an orgy was not on your
Well, you
bingo
watched a
card? She's
dude.
like, it wasn't on my bingo card for
You watched a
2056.
dude go
let
down
alone-
on another dude, and she's
that
never
was
seen
the end
that
for her.
before.
And I felt her body tense. And she looked at me and she's like, I'm like, we gotta go. And then, because here I'm thinking like, oh my God, I need to get back to the hotel because George is going to be wondering what we're doing. I don't turn my locations off. So he's going to know I'm across the street at the other hotel. This is where the mistake in this.
Well, yeah, there's
Yes.
the lack of disclosure, right?
But I didn't do anything wrong. Like I didn't partake.
No.
My vanilla friend was like,
Just-
I'm going to sit in the
No.
bathtub with your coat and my phone and this bag of chips or whatever. You go partake. I'm like, girl, I'm here with you. Like this is.
It was just a lack of communication. Essentially,
no,
with you.
With
and she
George. Yes,
hid the
100%.
fact that she was there.
When he texted me, he's like, what are you doing? I was like, nothing.
Right. So that was, that's a bit of a red flag. Let's be honest.
I also didn't want to give you FOMO.
I already had FOMO. Didn't matter.
That's a big thing in this is FOMO.
FOMO is rough.
What advice would you give someone who's curious but unsure where to start?
It's a tough question, to be honest.
Have a conversation.
Yeah, start with a conversation. It always starts with a conversation.
Is there something that you wish people kind of understood about open relationships?
Yeah, it's not
As gross as people make it.
or scary.
Yeah.
It's really not. Everything we do is within our comfort level. We take it as far as we feel comfortable taking. And everybody's dynamic is different. And you just have to figure out what you're into and what you like and run with it.
I will say that it's not for everybody.
Absolutely.
The idea of it is enthralling to people and exciting to people, but this lifestyle is not for the weak. You have to be solid, like 10 out of 10 on the same page with your partner. If you are partnered up joining this lifestyle, if you are just a single woman or single man, whatever, do your thing. But it is really not for the weak because there are so many, letdowns, really flaky people. It's really annoying, especially when we live where we live. We have a harder time finding people, and then to be ghosted.
Or lied to.
I feel like that's just my regular dating life.
That's what it's like. Exactly. It's a smaller offering than just, your everyday dating for sure.
But there's still really gross, creepy people in this lifestyle that I think
There's still really gross, creepy people not in the life.
right. So I feel like they join the lifestyle because they maybe have this misconception that it's
Gonna get
easier
them
to
laid.
get if they present as a unicorn, a bull, a dragon, whatever. But you need to be able to back up your mouth.
We don't really fuck with friends. That's something that we've been pretty clear about too, is that existing friends are not,
Which a lot of people have asked me, like, have you and Lacey ever done stuff together?
We get asked that all the time.
All the time. Like all the time. I'm like, that's not our friendship.
Yeah, but that's just
We were friends. We were
That's
friends
not.
before we
yeah.
joined the lifestyle. So,
Well, yeah, that was back to when.
and
we
it's
were
not that
those-
I wouldn't. That was never the way our friendship ever progressed.
And that even goes to say, like, when you find out somebody's gay,
Yeah.
just because they're gay doesn't mean they want to fuck you.
Right,
You're not
exactly.
their type,
Right,
right? Like,
right.
it's same kind of
I'm
thing,
not
right?
saying
Like,
that
my
you're not my
friends,
type. I just know that you're not into that shit. So why?
your lifestyle is
I'm
not
not gonna.
type.
I'm not gonna set myself up for failure by being like, want to make out? Like, what if? I don't want you to turn me down. So I just that's just never been part of our friendship.
Yeah.
And I bet you, if we had $1 for every time somebody asked us if we've done something in the
We could go on a nice holiday.
we could go to Mexico. We could
Ew,
take
no.
Santana with us.
Santana wants Mexico.
Yes.
You take her.
She could go see.
I miss my Mexican.
Yeah, there you go. So we just gotta start charging $1 for every time somebody asks because literally the three of us. could go to Mexico.
$5 a pop.
If you ask more than once, it's $10.
Okay, so I guess we'll do this one separately as well. Your relationship with this, how do you talk about this relationship to your families, your friends, coworkers? Like,
You don't.
and how do you have any instances where you have to talk about it?
Yeah. So discretion is key in this lifestyle unless you want everybody to know your shit. So, okay. Actually, we touched on recently about solo playing and how that was something we incorporated. So the very, very first time I ever solo played on my own, ball of nerves, almost canceled. My children were at school, totally safe. Well,
just having a man over.
I was solo playing with
I
a
was at work.
local guide and George was at work. This was the first time. There was lots of videos. Anyways, we did our thing. The guy and I were sitting out on our back deck smoking a bong. It was really windy that day. So let's be honest. If you live in Saskatchewan, you know if it's windy, like you can't hear shit. Okay. I wasn't checking my phone because like who is trying to text me or come over to see me? Like nobody. I live in the middle of nowhere. The guy, oh my God, it's so embarrassing. The guy has a heart on, so I'm like, "Ooh, you should let me set you off a little bit more before you leave." So he stands up. I'm sitting in my patio chair, and I look over, and there's my husband's mother standing at the top of the stairs, staring at what I was not making eye contact, but the guy whose dick was in my mouth definitely made eye contact with my mother-in-law, and she said, "Oh, who's that? Or what's going on?" I said, "Oh, nothing. We're just hanging out." I was panicking. I was not even calm on the surface. Underneath the surface, I was like, what is going on? She said, who is this? And I said, oh, it's our friend that's local, was bringing over some weed for George. She said, okay, I'll talk to you later. And she turned around and left. And so I text George. I was like, please tell me why your mother just caught me with another man's penis in my mouth. And he texts back. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, yep. So there was we tried to do a little bit of damage control, and at that point I was just like, well, she left, and I said to the guy that was there, maybe she didn't see. And he said, I made eye contact. I was like, oh my God, there's no way. Like, I knew in my soul, to every fiber of my being, that there's no way she didn't see what I was seeing. So I need to explain why this was a really bad scenario for me. Not just being caught by your mother-in-law, but the day before, my mother-in-law and father-in-law sat their three sons down and said, we're splitting up. Your dad has a girlfriend at the lake.
So I knew this whole news to me is
So I knew the minute she said, no, like Miss Doubtfire on my fucking steps, that she thought I was cheating on her son.
Absolutely.
1000%. And now we know that's exactly what she thought. That is the only thought that went through my head. Like, if that conversation hadn't happened the day before, it would have been an embarrassing situation to find yourself in, but it wouldn't have been as shitty as the situation I found myself in. Because now, the day after my mother-in-law and father-in-law tell their kids that they're splitting up after 40 some odd years of marriage, my mother-in-law catches me, not with her son.
face first in
So,
another man's crotch.
First of all, I just said to George, I was like, let's just see how this plays out. Like, let's just not say anything. Maybe she didn't see. I knew in my soul, though. Like, I knew. Like, I didn't sleep that night. The next day, she messaged me and said, so you're just going to ignore me now? After I apparently walked in on something I shouldn't have seen. And I'm like, I text George, right? I was like, she absolutely seen. You have to tell her now. So against everything in our bodies, the last people on this planet that we wanted to know about this was George's mom and dad. So, and they know, both of them. So he told his mom first, and it went over like a lead balloon because
she didn't approve.
She definitely didn't, because she didn't approve of the swingers that lived in the community prior to that.
She also doesn't approve of anybody.
She didn't approve of Lacey's red hair.
She's a prude.
or my braids
Or your braids.
or me coming to
She
visit you.
she actually insinuated once years ago that we should lock up all our guns and put our paintings away because Lacey might rob us based on the color of her hair. So anyways, that's not what we're talking about today. So then George had to call his mom, and it was a short conversation, but it went over like a lead balloon. And then the next day she demanded she didn't want to have to carry the burden of our secret. So we had to tell George's dad. So yeah, so now my
And
in-laws
George's
know.
dad
Was like, really? And then, but he was
I was quite surprised.
He was surprised, but he was not judgmental
He
at
didn't
all.
act judgmental. It was quite something, I guess. And I mean, we were already
I really should have gone to therapy.
2 years into the lifestyle. We just, we weren't slowing down what we were doing just because they split up. Like,
So do you find that this is kind of like, would you say that it's a form of cheating, just consensually cheating?
No, we actually use the term ethical non-monogamy.
Is what is actually
E&M.
E&M. Yeah, I don't know.
So we're not monogamous, but we're ethical about it because there's no secrets and there's no cheating because we know what's happening in each other's lives.
I will
Valid.
say, as somebody who was very much not a partaker in this lifestyle 3 years ago, aside from showing my boobs on Snapchat, that first step we took where we solo played, like I felt that first time, that first day, and then to be caught, that first solo play.
Well, yeah, because then
That was the first time I was nervous to
she's
play.
assuming you're cheating.
I was caught with another man, which is like nobody wants to be like, that's not what you want to happen. So I knew she thought that I was cheating, and it kind of made me feel like
Dirty.
I was
Am I
cheating.
cheating?
Yes. But like, he knew that he was there. Like, he had gotten 1,000 videos that day because I literally recorded, like, should have just set up a tripod, basically. I said, because I didn't want to feel like I was cheating. Like, my mom cheated on my dad, and then my dad ultimately cheated on my mom and they ended up divorced. And I've been cheated on, and it's just a shitty feeling. Like, I understand how my mother-in-law is feeling, but you get out what you put into a relationship. I don't want us to end up like that. And she made a comment during the split. She's not handled this breakup well. It is actually, we used to be best friends. Like, I mean, I did everything for her.
Like a
And
great mother,
yes.
daughter-in-law.
And now I am the work, like I'm
Bottom of the
shit
barrel.
on her shoe that we're almost at zero contact with her right now.
Not because of
Not because of the lifestyle, but because
just
of
because
the
of the
way
type
she
of
treated
person
us,
she is.
because of how we treated her during the split. But like, I don't want to be like that. And so she made a comment to me once that she wished that down the road George would do this to me and I wouldn't have the support of my kids. And I should have been quick-witted in the response and said, how could that happen when I let my husband fuck other women? Because there's no chance of cheating. Like,
But also, this is your mother-in-law, so you want to
Right.
respect.
but I kind of wanted to say that as like a,
Well,
you know, but
no.
I'm not smart enough in that moment. We have other friends that we eventually ended up telling to, like Lacey knew. I was texting you when we were meeting with the very first guy.
No.
No, I think you messaged me before and you said, I think me and we're going to do this. Emily talked about it. And then you messaged me after and you said, okay, so we did it. And then we talked
Yeah,
about
I definitely think you were the first person, like in my real life, that I told that this is what we
You
were
were
doing.
about the only person.
Because I felt like you weren't going to judge, because you kind of went through your own little hoe phase. You know, like I felt like you were a safe space. So you were definitely the first person that personally knew us, that out of anybody in our
But
whole
let
life.
me just say, like, you've come full circle from when I met you, because you might have put yourself out there on the internet, and I went through a breakup,
Yes.
where essentially it was sexless, right?
Yep.
So I broke up with him, and I went through a whole phase, and you very
vilified
you
her.
very heavily judged the way I was like, you were put here to get married. You are not supposed to have multiple partners. You are not this. You are
That's
not
why
that.
I'm saying
Like,
you were in my life before the lifestyle and after. So you've
But-
changed. I've admitted to that. I was like, that was bad of me to judge, but I was not like, that was a different mind frame for me, right?
you're like, why are you with multiple partners?
And now I've been through some really traumatic things in my life with a couple of really hard losses to my heart, which really just changed my aspect on life, my whole perspective on life. I really try to live the motto, like, you literally have one life to live. I know that is such a cliche. YOLO is such a cliche fucking saying, but you literally have one life to live. Do the things that make you happy. Do the things that satisfy you. Surround yourself with people that bring something to the fucking table. Stop being friends just to be like, I got 100 friends. Like,
I agree.
keep your circle small. Losing my dad and my sister, I think, also contributed to me wanting to. I don't know why, and I don't know how. But
grief is different. Grief is different for everybody.
everybody deals with it differently.
It sounds weird that the grief of this brought you
The
to
death
where
of
you
my dad and my
are.
sister, like, ultimately did have a hand in me saying to George, okay, let's try this. Like,
So then
you
I-
only have one life to live.
So then I feel like in a way this has sort of brought you guys closer, because, and I would
100%.
think so, because of communication, openness, transparency,
Yeah.
right? Like,
It's also brought a lot of issues too, where there's been times where things have not gone good, and I say to George,
Doubt. Well,
Is this the
why?
right path
Why
for us?
did we
Like,
have a bad experience with this couple?
was it us?
What, like, are we the problem?
Right.
but that's normal. I mean, we literally just went through this.
That's dating too, though. In
Yeah.
your life.
Yes.
Where
Yep.
something happens to me and I'm like, oh, I'm the issue.
Yep.
It's always me.
Right.
Like, it's not just that.
It's
like, I
easy to
think
blame yourself than it is to blame others.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
you're hard
everything
on
we
yourself.
do is dating, right. We're
Yeah.
courting the
Other
people that
people.
we want to have sex with, and we're cultivating relationships, and those relationships are geared towards having sex with each other. So there is a lot of room to get hurt. There is a lot of
Feelings,
room for
yeah.
emotional damage. You know?
Emotional damage.
Yes, it's
Insert audio.
Yeah.
You just did.
But yeah.
there is a lot of room for that in what we do.
In what you do, have you developed feelings towards another person or couple?
Yeah.
Not I haven't. I haven't. See, I have always been the guy, and I've said this to Sassy right from day one of our relationship. Sex does not equal love.
Correct.
Okay. So I can have sex with anybody and never fall in love.
And
That is me.
I was like, sex, you only have sex with the people that you love.
Right. That's
I
great.
think that's very much
That's
me.
what I used to be. I'm very much that way. Like
Yeah.
and that's why I haven't been with anyone for over a year because I'm just
Chill though, Santana. Just jump
but
and
here's
try.
the thing. I
Try
very
it.
much think that
Out of the like
but
12 years me and her have been friends, I've seen her have like one tiny little hoe face. It's like she's trying to drop like 3 grains of salt on that shit.
It was
That's
like 2 days. Oh,
right, yeah, but
yeah.
but that's the thing where it's like I'm very much of the mindset it's one person. So
Yeah.
I look at and it's funny because I don't know if I've ever said this to Lacey, but I find like you guys have just opened with. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But you guys have been married, right? Like,
Yeah.
But there's other people where I look at and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Are
Right.
you stupid?
Right.
Like you're just I look negatively on it, but because I know you guys and I know
Well,
you've got the relationship.
I've
it's very-
talked to you through
I
it a
feel like
lot
I
too.
have to
so-
just like piggyback on that because like I feel like some couples that we have met personally in this lifestyle use the lifestyle as a band-aid to fix a broken relationship.
Yes.
And it doesn't work.
Okay, so would you use this as an enhancer? Like, okay,
Well, it's either going to go one way, 50-50.
do you think if it came down to it, you could stop the lifestyle and just go back to the way it
100%.
was?
100%.
You?
I believe I could. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's because we've been together 15 years.
You built that
We're on our
foundation.
16th year. We have met couples that have been together half as long as we've been together, who they have actually been, I feel like they use the lifestyle and lifestyle events as a band-aid. And we have been, George and I have been on the receiving end, for lack of a better word, of failed meetups with this particular couple on more than one occasion. And I think you have to, that's why I said like earlier, you have to be solid with your partner because bringing other people in is either not going to fix, it's not going to fix anything, period. It's not going to fix
bring more
anything.
emotion.
You're going to have fun in that moment, whether it's you've been smoking weed, you've been drinking some alcohol, whatever. You'll have fun in that moment, but there's going to be so many more ramifications after the fact because you're not on the same page to begin with. You didn't go in with the same headspace, say, you know, either boundaries weren't agreed on or whatever. And I've seen so many couples try to use it as a band-aid. And it not only affects their relationship, but you hurt the people that you are bringing into the relationship as well. Like,
Yeah. But I think that's where George comes in and says, like, sex isn't always love.
Right.
Like, I see it as that's what it's supposed to be.
Right.
But
I
in
do
this
too.
dating generation of like hookups culture,
Yeah.
it's not.
Nope.
Because, and that's why I feel used when
100%.
that's why I refuse
Right.
to hook up with people. Because it's like,
Right.
you feel so used.
Yep.
Oh, I'm not worthy. I'm not good
Wow.
enough.
How many
I'm just
other
good
people
enough.
see,
But not
you
even
know?
that, like my mental space goes, oh, I'm good enough for this. I'm good enough to have sex with, but I'm not good enough to make a girlfriend. I'm not good enough. Right. And so
100%.
there's a lot of that. Like that's where I
Yeah.
struggle
Mhm.
with, right? Because I'm like, why, if you have access to me and you can use me for my body,
Right.
what
What are you getting out
what
of
are
Yes.
you I'm gaining nothing. You're not
Right.
paying for anything. You're not
it? Right.
right.
I used to feel the same way about that, like being used, but I had to switch my dynamic and essentially be like the fuck boy to not feel shitty about myself when I was in my hope phase, right? Like
You became the user.
I essentially became the user in
So
that
you were
situation.
using-
But I was able to shut off my emotion behind it, where I was like, I need this man in my life. But that also fucked with me because I find it hard to find that value now in like, well, why would I settle down when I don't have to? Like, you know, like, and I find myself very shut off. I'll get in a relationship, but if I find myself very like cold, like taking a long time to get there. And once they give me that one ick, I'm gone kind of thing. And it's all different, but like it's all
But I
in the
think-
same pot.
It's all the
Just
same.
Yeah.
But I think
different
that
ingredients.
that's the women these days have changed. It's like the tables have switched where like now the women are like, no, I have
we're
the
playing
value.
the cards.
We're playing the cards. We are the fuck boys because we hold all the power
We
now.
do.
We're really old.
Absolutely.
We really
We've
do. We have the
fixed-
vagina and the boobs.
Yeah, but before it was all like, oh, I have to date you. Like, let me date you, right? The girls were
Right.
always like chasing. And now, and the guys were like, yeah, come.
The boys would wine and dine you and treat you like you were the gold, but then fuck everybody else
Yep.
on
Yeah.
their roster. And now we're like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna fuck you, your
Yeah.
best friend, your brother, your dad. Fuck you. I don't care.
Yeah, it's
Like,
And your daddy.
I'll see you at breakfast.
Yeah. But and that's where me and her differ is because I've shut myself off to that, right? Like I'm like, you know, you can just have sex and not have the emotions behind it. And like
I've shut myself off. It's just that I want a husband. I want the relationship. That's the difference.
3 years ago, I was very much same mindset as Santana. Like I just,
Yeah, but the difference is that you've had the relationship, you've had the husband,
Yes.
you
Okay.
have everything she wants.
Right.
Yeah.
right? And now we're at the point where let's start to open up. You've already achieved everything.
But I can
Different ingredients.
understand and respect what she's saying
Yeah.
in the sense
Absolutely.
that a very short few years ago, that was my same mindset.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
I only wanted you. I didn't want to sleep with anybody else. I wasn't interested in being with women.
And now
And now it's like, well, honestly, now it's like,
you love having sex with everybody and anybody.
So
and
would you-
love having sex with women?
Would you consider yourself bisexual now?
100%. It used to be bi-curious, but now I've definitely
I mean,
progressed
it's
into them.
you are definitely choosy.
I like kissing. I don't care if you're a man or a woman.
I mean, I would be choosy too.
Right.
Regardless, because
I'm choosy when it comes to
I'm
the
choosy
women.
too. Like not
Like,
so much
I'm
for my
really-
women, but for my men. Like
I'm
the
really-
men that I'm
Yes.
going to have, a sexual encounter with. I'm very choosy about that. I have a preference.
well, you
You know.
everybody
That's
should
right.
have a
That,
preference.
and that I was just gonna say, like,
But not so much for women. I'm
When-
not as picky when it comes
when
to
you
women.
start this, like George is saying, he has a preference. Who wants to? Let's be honest. Whether you're in the lifestyle or you're not in the lifestyle, nobody on this planet wants to put an ugly penis in their mouth.
Wait, do you want to hear a funny story?
Okay.
So I bought my car, and the salesman and I don't really know how this happened, but we hit it off. We taxed whatever. He'd come over. We started to,
Get sexual.
yeah. And it was I don't want to say it.
Say it.
Say it.
Oh, you're among friends, Santana.
He blew a huge load. Is that what you're trying
In
to
your
say?
mouth, on your face.
face.
Yeah, we've
Painted your
fucked with your
face.
lashes.
Yes, but here's
Oh,
the thing.
no.
That was my first time, and I was just like, oh my god.
You've never taken a load on the face before?
No, that was my first
So
time. And I
this
hope
is-
no one
this is
listens.
very sheltered.
I was very choked and upset when him and I sort of like cut things off
Because you didn't cut things off. He did. He ghosted.
he ghosted out of nowhere.
The worst.
So now that's the
worst.
worst luck when it comes to fucking ghosting. And then that's what I don't
It happens
understand.
in the lifestyle too.
We
I
get
will tell you that.
ghosted.
We get ghosted all the time.
See, and I think you would handle it better as a couple versus me. Like I literally have just been going through a
You know
big ass
what?
depression for the last 2 weeks.
I find that one of us is always more upset than the other. Usually one of us has bonded more with the person, and then that's the person that's upset.
Okay, we did have some listener questions come in, but I think we kind of have answered almost all of them, except maybe 2 or 3. The one that I do want to ask that we have not talked about is, does the risk of your partner impregnating anybody ever worry you?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. In fact, George is supposed to be getting a vasectomy soon, but he keeps not responding to the message in his mailbox. I cannot have kids, so that's not a worry for me.
So if that were to ever happen, like how do you even handle it?
It would be the end of us.
Yeah.
No,
You think
I-
so?
No, I don't know. I think it would depend on the person.
No.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
No.
if I knock a woman up that doesn't plan on having the kid and she just goes off and has an abortion, then there's nothing to worry about anyway. Now, I honestly do not believe that abortion should be used in that method, but at my age, I don't want a kid. So if in the event it did happen, which I would hope that I would be, safe enough and wise enough to not allow it to happen. But if in the event it did, I would, definitely push for that alternative as much as I don't like that. I would.
And if she refused and
Well, if
had
she
the baby,
refused,
it
then-
would be
then-
the end of us.
Yeah, it might be, but I mean,
I think that's where the
a
jealousy
genuine fear.
comes in. Yeah.
That's a
100%.
genuine fear.
That is a huge fear. And so like
Well,
once
yeah, I'm going to get a vasectomy. There's no doubt I will be getting one.
and
That's
I
yeah.
can't have babies. So once we're both protected in that sense, there's less worry about it. We have had this conversation lots of times because a man wants to dump his load inside a woman. Let's be honest.
Oh, there's a
That-
lot of kink fetish out there, or
breeding
breeding
fetishes.
fetish, sorry,
Yeah.
where breeding is a kink.
But the thing is, I think that also becomes like the possessive of your partner. Not possessive, that's not the right word I'm thinking of, but like this is your partner. This is not your partner to have.
Yeah,
This
your
is
partner
my
in the
partner.
moment, but
yeah, right.
this is my anchor partner.
Right. So yeah, for me, I want to get a
I bet-
vasectomy, but I don't.
I would say that's our major concern right now is the fact that you can still impregnate women.
Yes.
Nobody can impregnate
Absolutely.
me. Like I have
Used
no
to be,
cervix,
but-
like no
Yeah.
babies growing inside this body.
But I understand where you're coming from. This is a choice for you
Yeah.
to have your hysterectomy. So I understand where you're coming from in a sense because I didn't have to make that decision.
Right.
I mean, I did, but I didn't. The
Right.
decision was made for me and it's final.
It's
Right.
final. Yeah.
So I get it. So do you guys consider this lifestyle a kink or a fetish?
I don't know.
I wouldn't know how. I guess I wouldn't know how to define
That's a stump.
or differentiate between the two.
Right. Because to me, like a
Um,
kink and a fetish can be
Could be the same.
categorized together. Like
Yeah.
if you're into like sucking toes, that could be a kink or a fetish. If you're into breeding or pretending you're impregnating somebody, that can be considered a kink or a fetish. So I think the word kink and fetish is really interchangeable. So I think
Very
that
much
it
so.
ultimately means the same thing. So I don't necessarily think that the lifestyle for us is either of those. I think it's
Parts of it,
Parts
though.
of
parts
it.
of it for sure. I still feel all these years later that being a swinger is really still like kind of frowned upon
Oh, big
in
time.
society
It is.
overall. Like,
Especially when you start getting into the religion and how
and I
they
remember
feel about
when
stuff
those
like
sex shows used to
Yeah.
come, they were so taboo, right? Like they were
That's why they're called taboo.
right.
That is why they
Stuff.
used to do in-home sex
Yes.
parties.
Yes.
Like not sex
Yes.
parties, but like
those passion
that
parties.
passion
Yes.
parties.
Yes.
Like
parties.
we called them sex parties,
Yes.
but that's not what they.
Basically,
That's what they were.
Sex toy parties,
They were
yeah.
toy parties. Yeah.
They were toy parties, right? That's why they were all in house.
Yeah.
It's because it was so taboo. And like I've gone to taboo multiple times.
I've never been.
I love
I've
going to
never been.
taboo.
I would love to.
But there's parts of taboo where I go and I'm like, oh,
Really?
this is interesting because they, what is the fetish? Fet life.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So on Fet Life, you can go on there and you can find like people in the kink lifestyle and whatever else.
Yes.
And like,
Yes. It's like Facebook for alternate lifestyles.
Fetish.
Sounds
Yeah.
far too
Fetishes.
vanilla.
so
You're very vanilla.
I'm very
one of the first years we went with our splurge group, there was people tied up. They were dogs. They
Yeah.
were doing like animal play, right? So they had like the leash on and like, so they had this this human with the muzzle on and everything else in essentially a kennel, like a cage,
Yeah.
a human cage. And then you would pay so much to keep them in there for so long. So like I was just so intrigued. So I just kept
Yeah.
going and giving money. I'm like, keep this bitch in this fucking kennel all night. Like it was like $1 for 5 minutes or something like that. And I think I dropped
It was
like
like 20
$20. And everyone was like, no, go, this is fucking weird. I'm like, but I'm intrigued. I want to know what brought them to this. Why do they think that they need to be dogs?
What's the point?
Some people get off on that. Like some people like having their body
Pain.
Wait.
Pain is
What do you
pleasure
mean?
sometimes.
What do you
Pain
mean?
is
What's the
pleasure.
point?
Yeah.
Do you like your hair pulled when you outside?
Do you
Do you like being
choked?
spanked, choked?
Yeah.
So
Same.
then what's
Same
the
shit.
point?
Ain't
Yeah, I
nothing-
guess I just
there
think,
ain't
but why do you
nothing-
want pain?
Because
It's not
sometimes-
being choked out. Like it's not like
Yeah.
But when people spank you, they're not giving you
Oh,
a nice
yeah, well.
little like they're gonna
Some-
right.
Some,
like,
people get off on pain. Like
Most of
find
us-
pain pleasurable.
Most of us have a positive response to pain, like a small amount of pain in that way, in a sexual way.
when pain
Yes.
is mixed with pleasure, it's enjoyable.
But it's also at
For
the
the
same
most
time,
part.
for the most part, it's dominance, and being
I was gonna say,
dominated
That's exactly
is
it.
what gets you.
that's
That's what gets
that's
the men.
that's
Yes.
my thing. is
And
that-
I like being dominant.
I guess that's exactly it. We all know I treat men like shit at this, but when I'm in the bedroom, like control me. Like I want you to
Right.
control me. I
Right.
want you to be dominant. I want you to
That's
take
when the
control of
tables turn.
situation. Yeah,
I want you to put
Yeah.
your hand on my throat. Like, who doesn't like a hand necklace?
Yeah.
Like, really?
I'm just a girl.
Seriously.
Everybody has different fetishes, kinks, whatever. Before I talked to you about their lifestyle, you weren't okay with it. Like not okay with it, but in general,
had
it's- like she
questions.
didn't understand it. I guess maybe would be.
I mean, I've never judged you two, like I said before,
Right.
because I've known you guys. I'm judgy of other people who do it. I don't know why. But like
But
I
I've also-
mentioned, you guys are married. You guys have been doing this for so long. Like marriage-wise, you've built that foundation, right?
Yes.
So
That's it. Foundation. That is the
That's,
key. Key.
that's part of it. Right?
Foundation, communication, consent, and honesty.
good question. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but do you guys like end up going to therapy to kind of work through some of this stuff in just all communication by yourself?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no therapy.
We've never been to marriage counseling. We've never been to personal therapy. I mean, I probably should be in therapy, but not for reasons related to lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right.
But
That means that's
you
good
have to be
communication
solid. That's
between-
like I said, like when you said foundation, that is the best word to describe it. You have to be 1,000% solid with your partner. And I really don't think that if you haven't been with your partner for at least 3, 4, 5 years or more, that it's even something that you should consider, because even up to 5 years, you're still learning
Learning
about
each
each other and what everybody likes. I mean, by 5 years, you should know what your partner's likes and dislikes are. You cannot hide shit. You have to be honest. You have, if something bothers you, you have to tell your partner, even if you know that it might cause a little bit of a whatever hiccup. Like when George went away with his
You gotta
cohort,
work-
that was me first experiencing him solo play, and I had no idea that I was going to have those big emotions. Like I had no idea, but I also partially blame the fact that I am going through a change in my body's changing because of my age, and the hormones play a huge part in that.
Absolutely.
And it was just like a perfect storm. But it was one day. It didn't continue into the next day, and hasn't been an issue going forward.
You know,
Yeah.
just before you close this out, though, I feel like this very much reminds me of like sister wife, seeking sister wife,
Mhm.
seeking brother husband, or whatever that other
Yeah.
show is called. But it's very much like, I mean, you guys are already married. You're not seeking to bring
Right.
another wife in, but
Right.
it very much kind of plays.
Oh, but we
into
are
the show.
taking applications if you do my laundry.
Yeah, right. I joke to Lacey, I said sometimes I wonder if that's like the best way to go. Like you can have the husband.
Yeah.
I just need help around the house, right? Like,
100%. That's where I'm at now.
but it's funny because there was this one on the episode where, yeah, they were bringing in another wife and she wanted to have sex right away. And then they were talking about kids. And then the wife was like, oh, I actually don't want you to get pregnant with another person, right? Like it's a control thing. But anyways, like that was just.
And I know that when
my
it comes
two
to like
cents.
polygamy, like that, polygamy is its own thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I could be a polygamist 100%, but she has to do all the laundry, like,
Yeah.
and some of the cooking. I'll do the baking and everything else.
Anyways, I feel like this would be a good spot to wrap it up.
I think so.
And I mean, if people have more questions, they can send them in and we can do a follow-up episode.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to go visit them this summer.
I mean, this is
so-
a fairly chaotic episode. We're back and forth. We're all over the place.
It's okay. We definitely thank you for sharing your experiences with us.
Well, thank you for
Your
having me.
honesty, your perspectives, your story, George, both of your stories, honestly. And we're just hoping that this can help break the stigma behind it, right? Like,
Just ask questions. Like,
It's not something to be afraid of.
really, it's not. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. It's really not for everybody. If it's something you're considering, try it. If it doesn't work out, then don't do it again.
but thank you. Thank you for making the drive. And we just really appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you for having us.
It was fun.
Yes.
This was great.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can have you back, maybe discussing something else. All right. Well,
Let's go get some dinner.
do you want
Let's go
to
eat.
join us in our closing?
Okay.
All right.
Love you.
Bye.